Is the lore of Yang punchy in patch 8.0? We expect Grand Cathay to be polite, sophisticated, but the lore of Yang is all about getting in your face and smashing your nose, mouth, and teeth in. Lore of Yin has deeper subtleties. Yang cranks up the raw power. This is all the more relevant with Tiger Warriors stalking your many foes. Time for dragons to roar. Now, why did I just say that? Strength of Yang, the casting passive, operates similarly to the Yin one in the sense it affects allies within 55 meters rather than map-wide, as is the case for many lores. For 13 seconds officially, since spells are known to get the first second for free, self and allies receive plus 24 to base and armor-piercing melee attack, so it's like a plus 24% weapon strength buff for those 13 seconds. That's evil levels of imposing your dominance. Isn't that amazing paired with Tiger Warriors? Oh, other stuff too, but that's almost half an Occam's Mind Razor as a casting passive, though you have to be dangerously close to the mosh pit. Increases in spell intensity absolutely will increase the percentage of weapon strength boosting. What's that? I need to go over the actual spells? You mean that wasn't awesome enough for you by itself? Okay then. Jade Shield is 4 wins normal cast, 6 overcast. All this does is provide a chosen ally within 200 meters of range, 1 unit or character only, 44% ward save for 11 seconds, or 22 seconds if overcast. Cooldown 28 seconds. Ward save means laughing off that percentage of damage, period, before any other resistances or mechanics arise. Slap this on, you can be Torox in a china shop, as in teacups and porcelain. Use this when your flying unit has to fly through a gauntlet of Jazale rounds to take the weapons teams out. Dragon's Breath, despite being literal magical fire, is your bread and butter spell. 6 wins normal, 9 wins overcast, with a tear-shaped area of effect, 9 meters radius, 25 meters per second, 100 meters max casting range, 3 seconds duration. The damage is 21, flaming and magical, or 42 overcast, 0% armor piercing, so it's base damage that will not be reliable whatsoever against Chaos Warriors and up. Cooldown of 30 seconds. So, this is one of your most reliable fryers for cooking Skaven slaves. Mileage will vary according to the opponent's armor level and vulnerability to fire. Wall of Wind and Fire gets our expectations up for 6 wins normal, 10 wins overcast. It says length 30 meters. This is really width. It's a very wide spell. Range 150 meters, moves 3 meters per second, 23 seconds duration, 43 second cooldown. Damage is 12 per second at 0% armor piercing, or 18 per second at 33% armor piercing, so the added 6 is all AP in effect. Both versions are flaming and magical damage. That's a lot of potential damage, and even though you have to exert some attention to not fry your own units, the potential to damage the foe is pretty legitimately high. You definitely want this running over a long blob. Stone Ground Stance is an interesting one. For 8 wins of magic, 12 overcast, this is 200 meters range, 35 meters radius normal cast, 55 meters overcast, duration 24 seconds, and cooldown 44 seconds in both instances. During that time, self and allies affected within that bubble are plus 8 leadership, plus 100% mass, and expert charged defense, so it'll be a lot harder to roll over them and extremely difficult to overwhelm them from the front in a hurry, including with stuff like Jade Warriors or even Nangao Grenadiers. A unit has to be capable of bracing, I suppose. Jade Warrior Halberds only have charged defense versus large by default, so it actually does help them if fighting Norscan Berserkers, or basically anything the Kala brings. Also, their charge reflection will apply in that case. Might of Heaven and Earth is a buff spell, 11 wins normally, a legitimately mighty 20 wins overcast. This is for a single unit or character, 200 meters range, 36 seconds duration, 47 seconds cooldown. The target unit gets flaming and magical attacks, plus 25% base and armor-piercing weapon strength, and plus 24 melee attack for that duration. Of course, the buffs will increase according to spell intensity, but they'll also increase with the overcast version. Plus 50% weapon strength, and plus 40 melee attack for the duration. Did I call it or what? Punch ogres in the belly and laugh now. Constellation of the Dragon is our last spell. 15 wins normal, 20 wins overcast, which means none of these spells has the top tier wins drain some lores possess. This spell on paper has a 10 seconds duration, but basically after the windup, it does an explosion, and then it just lingers around for a while as things burn until you start your 52 seconds cooldown. 200 meters range and 20 meters radius, which is pretty wide compared to some. This damage is not flaming, but is magical attack. 48 points with 0% armor piercing normally, 72 with 33% armor piercing when overcast. What is this extremely reminiscent of? Foot of Gork, and we know how awesome that is even today. This is slightly harder to use possibly, but against a full stack of Gorst zombies, you'll want this. People like to complain about the caravan system, and they have a point here and there, but do yourself a favor and get the Luminarch lens if you can. The fire weakness it creates for enemies makes this lore much more effective overall. This lore doesn't have it all. The lack of 100% armor-piercing damage options hurt. People view it as dominant in the early to mid-game, but not the ideal one for a late-game Doom stack necessarily. But in all seriousness, campaigns are often won and lost in that early game period. If you have one unit to buff to the sun and back, this is a fantastic lore, and let's not forget, it has a defensive spell that can be plopped down right before Slayers or Daemonettes hit, and protect your forces better, while also hitting back that much harder if within 55 meters of the caster. As you can see, the toolkit is simply so much better with at least one key unit that can be sent into places it has no business surviving normally, and or as the can opener to take care of a particularly thorny problem. But just waltzing into a clump of Tiger Warrior's Iron Claws and casting any little thing will have hilariously strong results for you, and this only gets better with extra casters. Just remember, actual claw speakers are outside of that system, but in those cases, you can address any holes in this lore. Also remember, this lore brings no fewer than 3 directly damaging spells, which affects what kinds of army compositions work for you. Just remember to bring some source of good armor piercing, like crane gunners, but you should anyway, right? Take care and have fun slashing and burning. This lore helps you do lots of both.